been 26 days on the job for new Vikings general manager Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. And Kwesi, it feels like even in that short amount of time, you guys have been able to accomplish a lot.
Yeah, and when you say the number 26 days, it's surprising in both ways. Sometimes it feels like incredibly quick, and then other times it feels like I've been here for months on end. It's both those feelings, but yeah, we've been able to accomplish a lot. Hiring a coaching staff, getting Kevin in the building, getting up to speed with these scouts. It's been incredible. It's been, obviously it's a compressed timeline, so we're working pretty hard here. But I'm incredibly excited about where it's going and what we've been able to do.
Now that you have had time to sit back and evaluate, what are your thoughts as you head into the combine of this current Vikings roster?
Sure. When you first go through the interview process, you are kind of looking at some of the bigger decisions, some of the pending free agents, or even the quarterback. So you don't really get to really dig into the depth of some of the young guys and things like that. And that's probably my favorite part of the job. My original background was kind of the analytics person, right? And so trying to find sleepers and things like that. So there's always some part of me that loves seeing that untapped potential. And so you go towards the back of the roster now as I really have to get familiar with the roster, and you get excited about some of the young guys we have and their potential going forward. And obviously there's guys that didn't play last year and things like that. So when you're trying to put together the vision for the team, you really want to be particular about what guys have a probability, some chance of making that next jump, and maybe giving that opportunity to do that, and maybe using your assets for a different position.
Yeah, you have to think of those assets, but you're also thinking about the draft, the combine, free agency, all of those factors. And you approach this combine, the first one, as general manager. But it's not obviously the first time you've been to the combine. So how do you use your past experiences in other roles in your combine approach this time around?
I don't know that there will be much carryover. I'll be honest. I used to be able to go to the combine, be very efficient with my time, meet with the vendors I want to meet with the people I want to meet with, and get out. This is, I'm going to be more heavily involved in interviews, more heavily involved just meeting people, getting team building with the group going and things like that. So, obviously you can always lean on your experience in the past, just being there and knowing where to walk, and the JW and all the things of the combine we all know and love. But for the rest of it, it's going to be a pretty new experience for me, and I look forward to it. I love a new challenge, and it'll be fun in Indy.
Now that you're more involved in those interviews, you just went through an extensive interview. You did a lot of interviews to put together this coaching staff. Is there anything from that process you're taking from what you went through recently and applying to the talks at the combine?
Sure. I would say it's just an affirmation of process. Again, like, it's something I always believed in, but going through it myself and being impressed by the process that the Vikings ran in hiring me, and then ending up with the decision of Kevin, it's, you get a lot of information and it's swirling and things are happening. And then when you come to your office, you close the door, the lights are on, just you and your computer, and you ask the questions that, hey, this is what I value in this position, and here's the evidence that either matches or doesn't match it. The decision becomes pretty clear after that fact. That's the same thing when it comes with evaluating players. A lot of times it can be really complex, and you try to oversimplify or just make it about your process and go back there. And this process obviously reaffirmed that for me.
It sounds like you want to get a feel for these guys as people. So what is it outside of the intangibles or their athletic performance on the field during the combine that you're looking for in a player?
Yeah, I think it's, intangible is such a broad word. So I would say that there are other aspects of intangibles, but just really digging into their past, figuring out what makes them tick, why they do what they do. What are their methods? Who do they talk to when they have issues? How in their past have they overcome different things? What do they view as their best strengths? There's just so much to learn about a person and how they're going to thrive in a competitive environment, and what's then going to translate to them reaching their ceiling as a player. So really, you're just trying to fill in the gaps in humanity and trying to figure out, the difference between what you've seen on film, what you've heard from the coaches, and just trying to, put that final piece in the picture.
Yeah, and you have to combine that human element with their performance. I mean, you can't just not think of those numbers. So how does what they do during the combine play a part in the research and development side of things?
Sure, it's a part of it, but you always want to make sure that you weight the information by the amount of it, and also the predictiveness of it in the future. So if you've got 3 years of watching this person do the exact thing that they're going to do on Sunday, how much do you want to weight, a 3-cone drill? And obviously there is some evidence from that, but you probably want to weight it more to the thing that correlates more to the success of the player, and obviously how much information you've had on it. Do you want to relate a third-party testing system, or the anecdotal information that the coaches have told you over that 4-year career of that player. So you just want to make sure you consider it all of it, but have a system in place for you to weight it the appropriate way.
You have a large team that you're assembling to get ready for this process, and one of those pieces obviously is head coach or new head coach Kevin O'Connell. He's been on the job for 2 weeks, but yet here he is right in the thick of things. How do you think that collaboration process is going to be like at the Combine in particular?
Sure. It's already been incredible. You know, we have draft meetings where we come in and we talk about the players and the different positions and what they look for. And I think everybody in the room just can see it. They know why, you know, they're like, I can see why these two, you know, really want to work together. But I see him as an integral role. You know, I think I always talk about blind spots. As a scout, you know, you might have certain blind spots. As a coach, you might have certain blind spots. So getting in the room together, you bringing your expertise to the process and me bringing mine, and then also me understanding that I have blind spots that you're going to cure. It just that's what we envision here, and the collaboration between me and him will be integral for that.
The hiring process obviously delayed because of the Super Bowl. How has it been trying to catch up with what you need to get ready for the Combine with the new head coach and all that?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's not, I think we were talking before this started, I haven't seen much of Minnesota. But, you know, it is what it is. You know, I think, you know, as just now somebody that is his friend, I'm glad he won the Super Bowl. And that's why we, you know, we started a little bit late. But, you know, we're running a race, a long race, and this is just the start of it. And yeah, maybe we started a little bit behind the blocks for that reason, but I'm confident where we're going to end up. And it's been a bit of a challenge, but again, if you don't like the challenge, I don't know if you're in the right sport or the right league or whatever. Yeah,
speaking of, you have been running a long race in your career, and this is where you have ended up. And now looking back, though, I think 3 years ago, we're joking about this, the infamous elevator ride with Andrew Barry that really kind of made that connection for you to bring you to this point. Have you had time to reflect on that and what really has transpired in those 3 years?
It's amazing. I give it all. It's just a blessing, and sometimes you feel almost unworthy of the good fortune you get in your life. You know, I know I put a lot into it and I work hard, but again, the fortuitousness of that chance meeting and obviously us hitting it off, it's not lost on me. But all you can do is when you get these opportunities is do everything in your power to really honor the people who might not get those opportunities by working as hard as you can and learning and being open-minded and gracious. And honestly, I hope to pay it forward. And I know that probably means it's going to be tough for me to get in and out of elevators in Indy, but I do want to meet people, get them on the radar, get them in positions, because I do think there's people out there that just need a chance, and I would love to help those people. Obviously, it's hard, right? Because there's just only so many jobs, and that is what it is. But yeah, I'll have time at some point in my career to think about this ride. Everybody who texts me, I just tell them it's a wild ride. I know it, but I'm in it right now, and this isn't the goal wasn't to get this job. The goal was to be a part of something special, and I'm still on that ride, and I'm going to keep going.